So hey folks, here's another dog walk special here. I'm finding solace in doing this in the last few days before I move. One thing I wanted to talk about today is nostalgia. It's a powerful force. It affects a lot of our decision making. It can be a good thing, but it can be destructive. It can be a bad element in our thinking as well, often working against logic. I'll give you an example. I have a ukulele. I got it on my 3rd birthday. It's nostalgic, but it's really poor. It's a very poor piece of workmanship. It's made by the Chinese company Skylark sometime in the early 60s. I've restored it. I've made it as good as it can possibly be on 2 different occasions, and it's falling apart again. And that's not due to my poor repair work, that's due to the original materials and design just being not up to scratch. I repaired it as a project of nostalgia. And as I was gathering my ukuleles to take to the UK, I realized that to use this ukulele as a slot, as a choice for what should go, would rule something better out. So I had to leave it out of the mix. That was really hard to do. So it's still hanging on my wall. I'm not sure what to do with it. It's the oldest possession I own. I may still try to take it with me. However, it kind of reminds me of a lot of scenarios that I've dealt with over the years in repair work for people. And that is where decisions are governed by pure nostalgia, emotions, not logic, not what's best for their pocketbook, but by some sort of ephemeral state of memory, nostalgia, comfort level maybe. I've had people want to spend way more than it's worth to fix a guitar, ukulele, or cello or something, because of what it means to them emotionally, rather than whether it makes sense to invest that kind of money into it. I see this a lot. I see it a lot also in the videos of people that repair instruments on YouTube. I see it with Ted Woodford, I see it with Randy, I see it with everybody that I really like on YouTube that's doing repair work, where people prize an instrument way above market value because of what it means to them emotionally. Now, let me get this right. It's not wrong to do that. It really isn't. If we were ruled purely by logic, we would never restore a harmony, or an airline, or a Honer, or an OK. We'd never do any of that stuff because it really ain't worth it. So sometimes nostalgia forces us, and we pay over the odds to fix something that may not be worth it in financial terms, but at the end of the process you have something cool. You're sort of preserving a portion of history that may not have been preserved if you'd have thought logically. But I've seen this go to the other side of the spectrum too, where people pay absurd money to restore something that is just not worth it, something that goes against the grain of logic to put money into. And sometimes it's kind of sad to witness. Now, I've gave you some examples of Honers, that kind of stuff. But there are other examples where I've had people wanting me to fix a ukulele that's worth literally $10, $15 new, and the repair work is 5, 6, 7 times that amount to fix it, and they could really just buy another new instrument. And they go ahead and ask me to do it because they have some attachment emotionally to the instrument, and I can get the instrument playing again, but it's not worth the money they're going to invest to put back into the instrument to get it playing. And it really isn't of historical or cultural significance enough to warrant that sort of investment. And if I gave you some of the examples, it would be embarrassing. I've literally had people, hand to me like Glaries that are 5 years old that have blown up. They're just not worth anything, and they want me to fix it because they have some emotional attachment to it. It was their first guitar or something like that. And if that were a Hohner or a Harmony or a K, it might be worth taking a financial hit, because at least you'd be restoring something from, let's say, the 60s or 70s. It would have some sort of historical lure or mystique or pull to it, but it doesn't. It's a piece of crap that they've become emotionally attached to, that they're going to pay to have me to restore or make playable. But it really isn't of any sort of historical significance to make it worth it. You'd literally be able to buy another one, even of the same brand, of the same provenance. So people make bad decisions based upon emotions, memories, that sort of stuff. So I'm wondering if any of you have done that. Have any of you made good decisions, poor decisions, maybe decisions that aren't supported by logic, but hey, you got something cool, some piece of Americana or some piece of history out of the guitar, an old Japanese guitar that maybe wasn't worth restoring, but now it's restored, it's a great player. Or have any of you done what so many people have done, in my experience, and pumped cash into something that's really not worth the time, the effort, is of no real historical significance to spend that sort of money on? It'd be interesting to know what you think. I suppose this is all subjective. What's worth repairing? What's worth restoring? It's going to be different for each of us, isn't it? I've restored a William Banks cello from the 1700s. That to me was worth every bit of my time. I've also restored, like my Skylark ukulele from the 1960s, that really wasn't worth any bit of my time or money or investiture. But hey, it was my third birthday present. So, to hell with other people's opinions. It's an interesting topic, isn't it, nostalgia? It brings up interesting nuances. So I'm wondering what yours are. You tell me. All right. See you next time.